If you've been part of the Shonen Jump community for the past couple of years, you probably have heard this. Shonen Jump is dying. And I mean, it's not without some reasoning. Weekly Shonen Jump is in a weird position right now, and going through a generational transition. But with recent events, it seems that Jump is finally pulling the trigger and pushing this generation of manga into the forefront. Today, that's what we're going to be talking about, just how and why is Jump doing this, but firstly, let's just take a small refresher into the current state of Weekly Shonen Jump, and more specifically, how they are in terms of their older series. Again, I think everyone that has been following Weekly Shonen Jump, and if you're watching this video there's a good chance that you are, is probably aware that much of Jump's magazine is just filled with recent series. We've got a total of 4 titles that are older than 3 years old and that are actually popular. One Piece, which just started its final saga, My Hero Academia, which is in its final arc, Black Clover, which is also in its final arc, and finally, Jujutsu Kaisen. That is the only one of these 4 that can be considered a recent it. And that may not sound like it's too bad, but this is not a normal state for Jump. For example, if you look at 2019's roster, there's many titles that had anime adaptations at the time at the very minimum. Of course, the 3 that we've mentioned already, Food Wars, Yuna of the Haunted Offsprings, IQ, The Promised Neverland, Inomaru Zumo, Demon Slayer, Dr. Stone, We Never Learn, and yes, even I'm From Japan. That's Shonen Jump doing well. It's not even peak Shonen Jump, just at a good point in its run. Since 2020, Jump has been losing those titles, however, and they are losing it faster than they can gain new hits. In this decade, the only title to get an adaptation, excluding sequel seasons, is Jujutsu Kaisen, and Burn the Witch if you want to be pedantic on me. Sure, that is about to change with Chainsaw Man, but Chainsaw Man also moved to Jump Plus, so that sucks for the Weekly Shonen Jump magazine. But that rod is going to change rapidly. Over the course of this year, we've started to see anime announcements for Shonen Jump's newer titles. It started with last year's Jump Fiesta with the announcement of Ayakashi Triangle, which has also moved to Jump Plus, but in 2022 we saw the announcement firstly of Mashle, and more recently of Me and Roboko. I even did a video on it, and this week we officially got the announcement of the adaptation of Undead Unluck. That is 3 out of the 5 survivors of the 2020 class. There's also been leaks of 3 more adaptations, however: Sakamoto Days, Blue Box, and last but not least, Mission Yozakura Family. Yes, after being pissed for honestly very good reasons, Yozakura Family fans have finally something to celebrate. I get that Yozakura Family isn't the most popular manga in the roster, but it was very confusing to see all these other more recent titles, including Ayakashi Triangle, getting these anime announcements while Yozakura didn't. However, I need to highlight again that these 3 are leaks. People have been assuming them as true due to supposedly the leakers being trustworthy, but we still don't have any official confirmation. So while this video is going to assume they are true, just be aware that that isn't a 100% certainty. Regardless, if it is true, that is 6 anime adaptations in rapid succession, which means that once these anime get released, we'll have almost half of the Jump roster adapted into anime, which is what is generally to be expected of Jump, and I really hope that this finally makes some of these titles household names in the community. Sure, it's unlikely that all of them end up becoming hits, but I think Blue Box is going to be the next big rom-com for sure. It definitely has that potential. Sakamoto Days, if well adapted, is going to blow people's minds. It's already kinda doing that in the manga department. Mashle is probably an easy success. The manga sells incredibly well, it's one of the most popular titles right now. Personally, I don't love it, and I haven't for a while, but especially with the anime adapting the beginning of the manga and its mix of One Punch Man and Harry Potter, it's bound to get some attention. Me and Roboko is gonna be an anime that most are not going to care, at least in the West, but I still love that the series is getting pushed like this. Now for the other 2, I'm really happy they'll be getting the adaptation they deserve, especially because at times I really thought they wouldn't. They aren't the most popular titles, but they have a lot of potential and are incredibly solid battle manga. They didn't get to shine so much in the original manga form, but I do believe there's a chance for a Jujutsu Kaisen / Demon Slayer kind of situation. Not necessarily on the same level of scope, but of a manga that gets a lot more popular with their anime release. Especially with Undead Unluck. If I had to pick one single manga to get adapted, that's the one I would pick. And it's not because it's the one I wanted to see animated the most. If you know me or follow my channel, you will likely know that I don't watch anime. So when I want a manga to be adapted, it's not really because I want to see it animated, it's more so because I believe the anime can really do wonders for its audience and popularity. Undead Unluck has a weird beginning that can be a little awkward, and the designs are not the most appealing to everyone. But the anime adaptation can definitely mitigate some of these problems, and I feel like how the manga evolves after around 3 or 4 volumes, it really starts becoming something that shonen fans, especially the ones that may enjoy the complexity of Jujutsu Kaisen fights or the expansive and mysterious world building of One Piece, will definitely enjoy. Now, these anime aren't really coming out right away. The Chainsaw Man announcement was a year and a half ago, and we're still about 2 months away from it. So these anime should only start dropping in late 2023 and onward. So this isn't at all a quick fix for Jump. By the time that all of these 6 anime are out, it's likely that Shonen Jump will be without Black Clover and My Hero Academia, and even potentially of 2 of these series, as both Mashle and Undead Unluck are rumored to be approaching their final moments. But hopefully when that comes, we'll already have other titles ready to jump into the silver screen as well. I can only imagine that we've had announcements of these manga that things like Elusive Samurai and Witch Watch are also quite likely to happen eventually. Plus, maybe Akane Banashi and PvP will be big enough as well to warrant an anime adaptation. Only time will tell, but I really hope that in a couple of years these series will be doing much better than how they are right now. But while we wait for that, why not watch another Shonen Jump video? On the left you'll see a video on the new sports manga on the roster. Now it's not just blue box, click and see for yourself. And if you watched it till here, thank you very much, and I'll see you next video.